Welcome to Lucky Fortune English Podcast. I'm Vincent, and we're diving deep into the Zodiac today.
I'm Jenny, and I'm excited to decode all those love signals.
Yeah, those mixed signals, especially for the last three signs, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces.
They can be tricky for sure.
Let's start with Capricorn.
Okay.
They've got this reputation for being reserved.
Right.
How do they express their feelings when they're falling for someone?
Well, they're not the type to write poetry or plan these big romantic gestures.
Yeah, no kidding.
Capricorns are practical. They show their love through actions.
What do you mean?
It's less about saying, I love you, and more like, I fixed that leaky faucet.
Haha. Yeah.
Or, I made sure you had a warm coat for winter.
So it's all about those small, everyday things.
Exactly. It's their way of building a foundation.
Interesting.
They want something stable, something that's going to last.
So you're saying if a Capricorn is always there for you, like offering help and support.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
They're smitten. It means I'm here for you.
Wow.
And I'm in it for the long haul.
So should we be looking for that long-term commitment from a Capricorn?
Well, they're slow burners.
Okay.
Don't expect them to confess their undying love after like 2 dates.
Ah.
They need time to build trust.
Okay, so patience is key.
Definitely.
But what happens when a Capricorn's just not feeling it anymore?
When they're falling out of love,
Yeah.
that's when that practical side comes out again.
Okay.
They don't waste time. They'll focus on other things.
Like what?
Their career, maybe.
Makes sense.
Or personal goals.
So no big dramatic fights.
Not really. It's more like a gradual shift.
A shift in what?
Their priorities.
Oh, okay.
And their energy.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if you're seeing less interest or less of that usual support,
Yeah. That could be a red flag.
red flag that they're falling out of love?
It's definitely something to pay attention to.
Right. But Capricorns aren't great communicators.
Yeah. Especially about their feelings.
So what should we do?
Watch their actions. Try to understand what their behavior is telling you.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Aquarius.
Okay.
Now they're known for being independent
Yes. Very independent.
and unconventional.
Yeah.
How does that work in relationships?
Well, Aquarians really value their freedom.
Makes sense.
They need space
To do what?
to breathe, to explore their own interests,
Interesting.
to connect with the world in their own way.
So they might seem a little distant,
Yeah, maybe a bit aloof.
but that doesn't necessarily mean they're not interested.
Right.
So how do we know if they're actually falling for us?
Look for those subtle changes.
Like what?
When an Aquarius starts falling in love,
Yeah.
they'll let you into their world.
Oh, wow.
They'll share their thoughts, their dreams,
Really?
and those quirky interests.
The ones they usually keep to themselves.
Exactly.
So it's like they're letting their guard down
Mhm.
and letting us see the real them.
Yeah, and they might start putting your needs first.
Really?
Yeah.
Even before their own need for independence.
Exactly. That's huge for an Aquarius.
Wow. So they're basically saying, you matter more than my freedom.
You got it.
Okay, but let's be real.
Okay.
Aquarians aren't known for being super affectionate
No, not really.
or planning romantic dates.
That's not really their style.
So how do they show their love?
They do it through thoughtful actions.
Okay.
Little gestures that show they get you.
Like what?
They might surprise you with a book they know you'll love,
Well, that's sweet.
or they'll support your passions, even if they don't understand them.
So it's about those unique, unexpected acts of love
Yeah, things that show they've been paying
and
attention.
that they care.
Exactly. And
That
those
makes-
small things mean more to an Aquarius.
Then grand romantic gestures.
Yeah, it's about genuine connection.
Wow, that's really beautiful. Okay, but what happens when an Aquarius starts to fall out of love?
Well, it's not usually a dramatic break.
Oh, no.
No Aquarians hate confrontation.
Right.
They'll do anything to avoid feeling trapped. So they start creating distance.
Emotionally and physically.
Yeah.
So no big, it's over conversation.
It's more gradual.
Yeah.
They might become less communicative.
Oh,
They might spend more time on their own interests.
interesting.
They'll be less emotionally available.
So if my Aquarius partner seems distant
Yeah.
and needs a lot of alone time,
That could be a sign that something's changed.
okay,
But communication is key.
right.
Don't jump to conclusions.
Talk to them.
Yeah. See if there's a way to work things out.
And if not,
Then maybe it's time to let go.
let's move on to our last sign.
Pisces.
They're known for being hopeless romantics.
That's right.
So their love language is all about expressing their feelings openly.
Yeah. They dive headfirst into emotion.
Wow.
They're ruled by Neptune, the planet of dreams and illusions.
So they see the world through those rose-colored glasses.
They do. They tend to idealize their partners and the relationship itself.
So they fall hard and fast.
They do. They're also very empathetic.
And intuitive.
So they pick up on their partner's needs.
Yes, and they shower them with affection.
Wow.
They go all out to create magical moments.
Like what?
Candlelit dinners, thoughtful gifts.
Oh, wow.
Heartfelt declarations of love.
They're all about that fairy tale romance.
They are.
It sounds amazing, but is it realistic?
That's the challenge for Pisces.
What do you mean?
They can get so caught up in their fantasies that they miss the red flags.
Or overlook their partner's flaws.
Exactly. And when reality doesn't match their expectation,
it can get hurt.
They experience real disillusionment.
So what happens when those rose-colored glasses come off?
When a Pisces starts falling out of love, it can be really heartbreaking for them.
Why?
Because they invest so much emotionally. Their intuition, which is usually a strength, can become a weakness.
How?
They start to see their partner's imperfections more clearly. And those quirks that were once cute, they start to feel like major flaws. So it's like a crash landing back to reality.
Exactly. And their emotional depth can work against them. They might withdraw, become more sensitive, or even try to overanalyze the relationship.
Picking apart every little detail.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy breakup for a Pisces.
It's not. They need time to process everything.
And to heal.
Definitely.
So what can we do to support a Pisces going through this?
Just listen to them.
Okay.
Without judgment.
Yeah.
Offer a shoulder to cry on. Validate their feelings.
But don't try to fix them.
No, just be there for them.
Wow, this is all so insightful.
It is fascinating, isn't it?
We've covered a lot so far.
We have.
How these signs express their love.
Right.
And what happens when those feelings fade.
It's all about those unique personalities.
And how their values influence their approach to love.
Exactly. But there's still so much more to explore.
Stay tuned for the next part of our deep dive.
We'll be diving deeper into heartbreak.
And what lessons we can learn about finding love and fulfillment.
Don't go anywhere.
Okay, so we've talked about how these signs fall in love. But now let's flip the script.
Okay.
What happens when those lovey-dovey feelings start to fade?
Right.
How do these signs act when they're falling out of love? Let's start with Capricorn again.
All right.
When a Capricorn starts falling out of love, it's often a slow burn too, right?
It is. Just like their approach to falling in love.
They take commitment seriously.
Very seriously. They're ruled by Saturn.
Oh, yeah, the planet of discipline.
And responsibility, exactly.
So they're not going to just give up easily.
No, they'll try to make things work.
They will?
They'll analyze the situation.
Okay.
Weigh the pros and cons. Try to find practical solutions.
What if it's not working?
If they determine the relationship is beyond repair, they'll start to detach emotionally.
So how does that detachment show up?
Well, one of the biggest signs is a shift in priorities.
Their priorities change.
Remember, Capricorns are ambitious.
They are.
And goal-oriented.
Right.
So if they're not feeling fulfilled in the relationship, they'll focus their energy elsewhere.
Like where?
Maybe their career, personal projects, things where they feel more valued.
So no big fights.
Yeah.
No dramatic declarations.
It's more subtle.
Subtle how?
They become less communicative, less available, less interested in spending time together.
So they're not trying to be mean.
No, it's self-protection.
They're protecting themselves.
It's their way of moving on.
In a way that makes sense to them.
Logically, safely.
Okay, I get it. Now, what about Aquarius? How does their need for independence factor in?
When they're falling out of love.
Yeah.
Well, it's all about reclaiming that freedom.
The freedom we talked about earlier.
Exactly. Their autonomy. Remember, they need space.
To be themselves.
To explore, to connect with the world.
On their own terms.
Right? So when they're falling out of love,
they
start creating distance.
Like they just disappear.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Some Aquarians struggle with direct communication.
Right.
But they're not trying to be cruel.
So what are they doing?
It's a gradual process.
Of what?
Detaching. Emotionally and physically.
So how does that look?
They might spend more time with friends.
Oh, wait.
Or pursue their hobbies. Or just need more alone time.
So they're drifting away.
Slowly but surely.
But that can be confusing for their partners.
It can be. Especially those who need more reassurance.
More emotional intimacy.
Right. But remember, for an Aquarius,
yeah,
needing space doesn't mean they don't care.
It doesn't.
It's how they process their feelings.
Oh, okay.
It's how they reconnect with themselves.
So what should we do if we're with an Aquarius who needs space?
Communicate.
Even if it's just to say, I need some time alone.
Exactly. Respect their independence.
Don't try to cling to them.
Right. Don't pressure them to stay.
Because that'll just push them away.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's talk about Pisces. We know they're deeply emotional.
Very much so.
And romantic.
They are.
So how do they handle heartbreak?
It can be devastating for them.
Why?
Because they give so much of themselves.
Emotionally.
They idealize their partner.
And the relationship.
Right. So when those illusions are shattered,
it's really painful.
It feels like their world is falling apart.
Those rose-colored glasses come off.
And they're left heartbroken and disillusioned.
That's tough.
Their intuition,
which is usually so strong,
it can actually work against them.
In this situation.
They see their partner's flaws more clearly.
Oh, wow.
Those little quirks.
The ones they used to find cute.
They become major betrayals.
So it's a harsh reality check.
It is.
Yeah.
And they feel everything so deeply.
Yeah.
Their heartbreak can manifest in different ways.
Like what?
They might withdraw,
Okay.
become more sensitive, easily hurt.
Right.
They might even lash out.
In anger.
Or frustration.
So it's not a pretty picture.
It's messy. But Pisces are resilient.
They are.
They have a lot of empathy.
For themselves?
And for others.
So even though it hurts.
They'll find a way to heal.
And move on.
They will.
So what can we do to help a Pisces going through this?
Just listen. Without judgment. Offer support. Validate their feelings.
But don't give advice.
Unless they ask for it.
Just be there for them.
Let them process their emotions.
So it's about emotional support, not fixing things.
Exactly. Pisces need time and space to heal.
And when they do?
They come back stronger, wiser, ready to love again.
This is amazing, Jenny.
It is fascinating.
Understanding someone's sign.
It can really help us understand relationships.
Yes, the complexities of love.
It's a powerful tool.
For self-awareness.
And for building stronger connections.
But before we wrap up this episode,
okay,
I want to go back to something we talked about before.
What's that?
How these signs express their love.
When they're truly smitten.
Yeah, I think it's important to highlight the positive. So for those dating a Capricorn,
yes,
remember their love might not be flashy.
Or super expressive.
But their loyalty.
Their reliability.
And their practical support.
Those are priceless gifts.
Absolutely. And for those with an Aquarius partner, don't mistake their need for space for a lack of love.
Right. Give them freedom.
And they'll be loyal.
And you'll get to see their unique perspective.
And for those who have a Pisces in their life,
yes,
cherish their romantic spirit.
Their emotional depth.
Remember, they love deeply.
Intensely.
And they deserve a partner who can reciprocate that.
Absolutely.
Well said. And no matter what your sign, communication is key.
Empathy.
Compromise.
Those are the foundations of any healthy relationship.
This has been an incredible journey.
It has.
Into the world of love languages.
And relationships.
We've explored how Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces
express their love.
And how they navigate the ups and downs.
The challenges of relationship.
And we've shared some tips for building stronger connections.
And for handling heartbreak.
But before we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with one final thought.
I'm listening.
Remember that astrology is a tool.
It is.
It's not a set of rules or predictions.
Right.
It's a guide.
To help us understand ourselves.
And our relationship.
With more compassion and awareness.
Beautifully said, Jenny. Ultimately, the most important thing is to listen to your heart.
Trust your intuition.
Choose partners who align with your values.
And who make you feel loved and respected.
Well said, Jenny. Now let's wrap up this episode. And give our listeners some time to reflect.
On all these insights.
Thanks for joining us.
On this deep dive.
Into the love languages of Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. We had a great time exploring these signs with you.
I did too.
Hope you learned some new things today.
Yeah, and don't forget, subscribing to our channel brings good luck.
That's right. See you again soon.
See you later. Subscribing to our channel brings you good luck.